What's going on, YouTube? We are back again to talk about the Z Fold 4. I wanted to talk to you all about the things that I found during the 30 days that I used the device. And there's 4 things that I really think you guys need to know as the ones that are going to be going out and spending a whole lot of money on these products. And just the 4 main points that obviously are either things that you're gonna love, you're gonna hate, or you're just gonna have to deal with if you want to buy this device. So let's get into it. First and foremost, the price. Listen, it's expensive. There's no getting around that. The 256 gigabyte device is going to start at $1799.99. So that's no small feat. And hopefully you'll be able to snag some deals on that. Maybe some trade-in deals going on where you can get that at a much discounted price. If that's the case, great. But if not, you're dropping a whole lot of money on this device. So that's the 256. The 512 gigabyte, it's going to start you at $1999. A little bit of a weird number, but hey, that is, again, we're just going to keep climbing that ladder all the way up to the 1 terabyte, and the 1 terabyte is going to start at $2159.99. So you're talking over $2,000 at this point for a 1 terabyte device. Keep that in mind. You're going into this, try and find yourself a good deal on that device rather than just willy-nilly spending all that money, all your hard-earned dollars. So transitioning into number 2, so our cameras. Listen, they're good cameras. Definitely not as bad as the Z Fold 3 was the prior year. They need a lot of work. They've made a step up there. You've got a 50 megapixel main sensor now, a 3x telephoto 10 megapixel sensor. Your ultra wide is a 12 megapixel sensor. Your under display, that one that really nobody should use unless they're doing like a video conference chat for work or something, it's a 4 megapixel sensor. And then you have the cover display camera when it's all closed up, that is a 10 megapixel sensor. Listen, I'll throw some pictures up here of some of the things I took with that device. Listen, in great light, it's going to contend with any other phone, any other flagship phone. Low light, a little bit of a struggle. Video, not bad video by any means, but definitely not iPhone 13 Pro, 14 Pro level video. We all know iPhone right now, as it stands, is probably the top, if not close to the top, for video production on a smartphone. So those are things you're gonna have to just deal with if you're purchasing this device. At the end of the day, people purchasing this device may not be as camera focused as somebody purchasing an iPhone Pro 13 or 14 Pro or an S22 Ultra. You may be more productivity focused and maybe whipping out that S Pen and doing some photo editing, writing, taking notes, whatever it might be. You may not be in it for the cameras, and if you aren't, great. Listen, if you're in it for the cameras and you're not too sure about the foldables yet, listen, I'm telling you, go S22 Ultra, iPhone 13 Pro, 14 Pro, go with one of those devices rather than the Z Fold 4. But again, for somebody who just wants a good camera, but they want this productivity device, I think you'll be plenty happy. You can get some really nice shots out of that 50 megapixel main sensor when you turn the 50 megs on. Otherwise, you're cropping in just like on any other Samsung phone or iPhone 14, where it's going to crop into that 12 megapixel sensor or so. So, third, optimization. So, well, what are you talking about? It's optimized. Yes and no. It's a greatly optimized device. Here's the problem. Not all the apps for Android or Samsung are optimized for the flexible displays, the foldable displays. That causes problems with some of them, and that's okay, but you have to come to the understanding that there are going to be certain apps that, up until they are optimized, you're going to have to understand that you're going to be dealing with some kind of funky looking stuff. Instagram is like my biggest complaint, to be honest. You're scrolling through that and you're looking at, you can't even see the whole picture of a single post because it just takes it and blows it up. they haven't optimized that yet. So you end up switching it to a 16:9 or a 4:3 or something like that in the display settings, rather than using it to its full capability, which again is okay, but as things continue to progress with foldables, we want to see that change. So I don't want to be looking at some stupid picture or video all blown up and just like in my face. I want it to be optimized. I want to have more functionality of the real estate on that application. And then there's some other apps that are greatly optimized on it. Microsoft Outlook for an email application, if you're using it, that is awesome on the Z Fold 4. TikTok is not great yet, but they're definitely better than Instagram with the optimization, where they have a little bit of a taskbar on the left hand side and it looks a little bit nicer and cleaner. YouTube is a little glitchy at this point, but it does have a optimized version for being unfolded, so that's pretty cool. But again, there are tweaks you can make. Facebook's another one that's not really that greatly optimized, and neither is Twitter. So like I said, it kind of comes with some give and take for those apps that you may find yourself using the cover screen for, like Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Or you're going to be struggling through some of the glitches and different phases that those apps go through until they do get optimized, or maybe come out with an optimized version of the app for foldable devices. Number 4, this one, as silly as it may sound, and as many people are like, we could just wipe it off, or as many people just don't care. Fingerprints, man, they are awful on this device. The back of the device isn't terrible because it's that frosted glass, not too noticeable with the fingerprints, but that main display when it's unfolded is the worst display I've ever seen for fingerprints. You see every single touch you've made over the last hour and a half when you're using that device. Like, it's just crazy with fingerprints, but for some people that's a big deal. For me, I didn't really care, but it's definitely noticeable. Cover display, not as bad, because it's obviously not that ultra thin glass. It's a totally different screen, but that's, again, some people are going to care, some people won't. But for me, it was a notable thing to make sure you guys understand before purchasing a device of this stature, spending that much money on it, so that you guys knew that. So there's simple things you can do to fix that. It can be a case, but you're already carrying a bulky phone, and not to mention that one of the other fingerprints is that hinge. That hinge is glossy, and it's going to pick those fingerprints up like crazy. Not that that'll matter just because you won't see it as much, but it's still there. So you can get a case, you can consistently wipe it down, you can go about it however you want, not bother with it at all. I would recommend maybe going with something like a D-brand skin, where it goes over the device, and then you can customize it and make it look like whatever you want. And now you have the protection of the glass, and you have the protection of keeping off those fingerprints and not having to worry about it. Peel that off, looks as good as new, and you're all set to go. So, had the phone for 30 days. I loved the device. I thought it was great. It had its shortcomings. It had its areas it blew every other phone out of the water, especially when it comes to productivity. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide, do I want this device or don't I want this device? And those are the top 4 things for me that I noticed that are something that everybody going out there to purchase it is going to be looking at. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope that it was informative. I hope that you guys got value out of that. If there's absolutely any questions you guys have about the device, please post in the comments down below and let me know what you guys thought. Up here, you're going to see a link to the video prior that I did on the Z Fold 4, the first things you need to do, and then up here a link to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope that you hit that bell so that you get notified when the next video pops up. I hope you guys have a great holiday, almost to Christmas. Have a great holidays with your friends, family, loved ones, and enjoy. See you guys in the next one.